Hello guys! Today, I am going to show you America sci-fi thriller film from 2017, The Circle Morning. This is a spoiler content, so watch out and take care. The movie opens, and we see a girl doing kayaking. After a day of kayaking, May Holland is on her way home, when her car starts to have troubles and she is forced to pull over on the side of the road. She contacts Mercer, who arrives to take a look at the vehicle, that's evidently of some history. And after me, Annie works at the Circle, of powerful tech company, and is one of the 40 most influential people in the company. And he is constantly traveling, because of her responsibilities, and is surprisingly upbeat and energetic for the amount of stress that accompanies her job. May interviews at the Circle and gets a job in customer experience, an entry-level position that requires her to assist users of the Circle's products and services. She is constantly rated out of a score of 100 by the She Assist, and she is very driven to keep her score high. That a company-wide meeting, even Bailey introduces a new initiative called Sea Change. The initiative involves small cameras that can be placed anywhere and are meant to make the world more transparent. Tom gives a big speech about the human rights implications of these cameras. The cameras come in different colors, to allow them to be camouflaged, and they provide real-time video feeds, and it took us just a day to do it, and they're virtually indistinguishable. Invisible, they come in every color. So camouflaging is essential. This initiative is based on the notion of making life more transparent. The Circle owns a very large campus, and it becomes apparent later on that the company strongly encourages its employees to spend a lot of time on the campus during a company-wide party on campus. Back is performing, and he sneaks May away from the party and takes her to an office. And he explains that May actually shouldn't be in the office at that. It is where he even and Tom's tend to make the big decisions for the company. After leaving the office, May sees an employee away from all of the events. Glued to his phone, May approaches and begins a conversation. He asks her if she is the guppy, a term they use of the Circle for new employees, and she says she is. He says he could tell, and pulls out a hidden bottle of liquor from a bush and offers to share it with May. They carry on a little conversation before he gets a prompt from his phone, and tells me that he has to go, and gives her the bottle of alcohol. The employee's name is Tyler Fight, but he doesn't tell me his name while home for the weekend. May's at a bar back with her family and several other people. Her father, Vinnie Holland, has multiple sclerosis and has some difficulty performing normal day tasks, without the help of his wife, Bonnie Holland. It is evident that May's parents like May's friend Mercer and would like to see Matt and Mercer back together. Vinnie asks
May to grab a beer from inside their house, clearly trying to arrange an interaction between her and Mercer. As you get your daddy another beer. While inside the house, Matt and Mercer meet. They discuss Mercer's business, which is making deer antlers into chandeliers. The conversation doesn't last long, and Nero returns to her parents. Back at the Circle on Monday, 2 employees come to me and ask her about her profile on the Circle and why it isn't updated. They also noticed that she had been away from the campus all weekend and ask her why she didn't come back for all the activities, while they are careful not to make anything seem required. They are clearly trying to get May to open up more on her Circle profile, and to become more engaged in the company. These employees find out about her dad's health condition and that May enjoys kayaking. After the 2 employees leave, May seems more determined to rise up in the Circle by fully embracing all of its social pink tools. Data presentation at the Circle. Tom introduces a political candidate who is making all of her communications transparent. Tom applauds this and speaks about how transparency brings accountability. May's in the crowd with Annie. Ty is also in the crowd, but in the back. Once the candidate is done talking, Ty leaves during another late-night party at the Circle. May again sees Ty glued to his phone, clearly like the suggestion, but it upsets Annie. Annie gets vocal about her disagreement and ends up storming out of the board meeting. That the next company-wide meeting, May is leading the meeting and talks about the beauty of transparency. She then states that the Circle believes it can find anyone on the planet in under 20 minutes. She then has the computer randomly select a criminal at large for circulars to find. The computer selects a woman who is guilty of killing her 3 children and was in prison but escaped within 10 minutes. Circulars around the world have used phones, sea change cameras, and facial recognition software to find a woman and have her arrested. May talks about how wonderful transparency is and how it can be a tool for good. May then states that this program can be used to find anyone, not just criminals. She asks the audience who they should search for next and someone shouts Mercer's name. She says she wants to leave him alone, but the crowd gets restless. May is trying to dissuade the audience, but Tom tells her that they need to find Mercer. And she eventually gives in and asks if they can break their record of 10 minutes. People eventually find Mercer and a cabin. There are multiple people surrounding his cabin and they begin harassing him and asking him why. He is an animal killer. Mercer races to his truck and tries to get away from the people tracking him. Me and the rest of the circulars are watching Mercer being chased through real cameras. As he is being jazzed, a drone startles him, and he reacts by jerking his steering wheel to the left to avoid the drone. However, he overcorrects and drives his truck off a bridge and dies. Immediately May's horrified and takes a leave from the circle and total transparency. She moves back in with her parents and is trying to cope. She eventually calls Annie, who has left the circle and is out of the country. And he seems to be doing a lot better during Nicole. That connection to others has helped her cope with Mercer's death. Despite pleas from her parents, Met decides to return to the circle. As she is driving, she calls Ty and asks him for a favor. During their conversation, Tide tells her that she won't believe what he has found at the next company-wide meeting. May expresses how connection has helped her recover as she is speaking with Eamon on stage. She invites Tom onto the stage and he seems very weary. May then talk. It's about transparency and invites both Eamon and Tom to go fully transparent as she is talking. She tells them how Ty has found all their accounts, even the accounts that their wives were unaware of, and is exposing them in an attempt to become fully transparent, because no one should be exempt. Even and Tal more clearly upset, but are trying to keep a good face. Tom eventually turns to him and tells him, "We are so at," and storms off stage. May then states that he is good to the support of all in the audience. May leaves the meeting. That is clear that she believes in transparency, and that no one should be exempt from hiding their secrets. The movie ends with Meka acting again, and embracing drones around her. She has embraced transparency. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this video. Subscribe my channel to never miss out any video.
And he seems to be doing a lot better during Nicole. That connection to others has helped her cope with Mercer's death. Despite pleas from her parents, Met decides to return to the circle. As she is driving, she calls Ty and asks him for a favor. During their conversation, Tide tells her that she won't believe what he has found at the next company-wide meeting. May expresses how connection has helped her recover as she is speaking with Eamon on stage. She invites Tom onto the stage and he seems very weary. May then talk. It's about transparency and invites both Eamon and Tom to go fully transparent as she is talking. She tells them how Ty has found all their accounts, even the accounts that their wives were unaware of, and is exposing them in an attempt to become fully transparent, because no one should be exempt. Even and Tom more clearly upset, but are trying to keep a good face. Tom eventually turns to him and tells him, "We are so at," and storms off stage. May then states that he is good to the support of all in the audience. May leaves the meeting. That is clear that each believes in transparency, and that no one should be exempt from hiding their secrets. The movie ends with Meka acting again, and embracing drones around her. She has embraced transparency. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this video.